हेलो एवरीवन एंड वेलकम टू एडुलिव। आज के इस वीडियो में हम क्लास 9th एंड 10th ICSE स्टूडेंट्स की ट्रेजर चेस्ट की शॉर्ट स्टोरी के 5th चैप्टर द बॉय हु ब्रोक द बैंक के वर्कबुक सॉल्यूशंस लाए हैं। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं वीडियो। सबसे पहले MCQ टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन है। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है वाइल स्वैपिंग द स्टेप्स ऑफ द बैंक नथु ग्रम्बल्ड बिकॉज। करेक्ट आंसर इज सी ऑप्शन, he had not been given his salary. Second question is Nathu expected to be paid by the bank. Correct answer is D option, extra 2 rupees a month. Third question is Nathu banged the pen against the dustbin several times to. Correct answer is B option, emphasize his point. Fourth question is Mrs. Bhushan concluded that if the bank could not pay the sweeper, they must be. Correct answer is C option, in a bad way. Fifth question is who ran out of the barber shop with one side of the face still unshaven. Answer is C option, an elderly gentleman. Sixth question is who astonished everyone by leaping to his feet and running in the direction of the bank. Answer is C option, old Ganpat the beggar.
तो इस वीडियो में हमारे पास ICSE की क्वेश्चन बैंक बुक है ऑफ बायोलॉजी फ्रॉम द ओसवाल पब्लिकेशन। तो ये बुक बहुत हेल्पफुल है आपके बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के प्रिपरेशन के लिए, क्योंकि इस बुक की हेल्प से आप बहुत अच्छा स्कोर कर सकते हो अपने बोर्ड्स में। और इसमें सबसे पहले तो आपको डिटेल मतलब ब्रीफ में सभी चैप्टर्स के बारे में बताया गया है विद द हेल्प ऑफ द डायग्राम्स। और उसके बाद जब सभी चैप्टर्स को ब्रीफली कवर्ड कर दिया गया उसके बाद आपको जो ब्रीफ मतलब कि डिटेल्ड में भी आपको पूरा चैप्टर मिलता है। आप देख सकते हो, अगर मैं इस चैप्टर पे चलूँ तो आपको प्रॉपर मैच द फॉलोइंग, ठीक है। उसके बाद आपको वर्ड ऑफ एडवाइस देख सकते हो, ठीक है। चैप्टर 1 में वर्ड ऑफ एडवाइस, कॉमन एरर्स मेड बाय द स्टूडेंट्स, MCQ क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है। उसके बाद MCQ क्वेश्चंस के प्रॉपर आंसर एंड विद देयर एक्सप्लेनेशन, और उसके साथ साथ नेम द फॉलोइंग कि इस स्टेटमेंट को अगर ये लिखा है तो इसका क्या नेम है, ठीक है। उसके साथ ट्रू एंड फॉल्स, ठीक है। और ये सिर्फ ट्रू एंड फॉल्स आपको नहीं मिलते, इसके साथ साथ आपको कि वाई दिस स्टेटमेंट इज़ ट्रू या वाई दिस स्टेटमेंट इज़ फॉल्स ये भी बताया गया। उसके साथ साथ आपको प्रॉपर मैच द कॉलम, एक्सप्लेन द टर्म्स, ठीक है। जो एक बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के प्रिपरेशन में हेल्प करता है ना प्रॉपर अच्छे से, इसकी हेल्प से आपको कोई और बुक की नीड नहीं होगी इसके अलावा, ठीक है। गिव रीजंस, डायग्रामेटिक अप्रोच, ठीक है, लॉन्ग आंसर क्वेश्चन, मतलब हर चीज़ कवर्ड है। और ये सेम सिनेरियो हर चैप्टर के लिए है। तो आप इस बुक को परचेज़ करके अपना बहुत अच्छा स्कोर कर सकते हो बोर्ड्स में, ठीक है। तो इस बुक की लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगी, उसमें जाके आप इस बुक को परचेज़ कर सकते हो, ठीक है।
क्वेश्चन इज रूमर स्प्रेड दैट शेन गोविंद राम हैड। आंसर इज डी ऑप्शन, ऑल ऑफ द एबव. Eighth question is the bank had gone through all its cash and the harassed manager. Answer is A option, was in dilemma. Ninth question is mischief makers who didn't have a paisa in the bank also. Answer is B option, joined the crowd. 10th question is the general tone of the story the boy who broke the bank is. Answer is B option, humorous. तो अब कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पैसेजेस के क्वेश्चन से स्टार्ट करते हैं। फर्स्ट पैसेज के क्वेश्चन है। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है हु इज़ नथु, वाई वॉज ही क्रम्बलिंग। आंसर इज नथु इज़ अ स्वीपर बॉय हु वर्क्स इन पीपल नगर बैंक. He was grumbling because he had not been paid his regular salary although it was 28th of the month. Second question is using a small broom he raised the dust. Did the dust disappear? Answer is no. The dust did not disappear. After raising in a cloud above Nathu's head, it settled down again on the steps. Third question is who happened to pass by while Nathu was working? Where was that person going? Answer is as Nathu was banging the pen against the dustbin, Sita Ram, the washerman's son, happens to pass by. Sita Ram was going to deliver the bundle of freshly pressed clothes to the owners in their houses. Fourth question is what did the passer-by ask Nathu? What was his tone? Answer is Sitaram, who passed by him, asked Nathu if he was annoyed because the bank people were still refusing to pay him an increment of 2 rupees a month this tone. Fifth question is, what light does this extract throw on Nathu's state of mind? Answer is, Nathu is very upset. He was asking for an increment of 2 rupees a month, but he had not given his regular salary, although it was 28th of the month. Okay, first question of the second passage is, what had Nathu told Sitaram earlier? Answer is, Nathu had told Sitaram that he had not received his regular pay, though it was 28th of the month, and he was thinking of leaving the job. Second question is, what assurance did Sitaram give to Nathu before leaving? Answer is, before leaving, Sitaram assured Nathu that he would keep a lookout for any job that might suit him. Since Nathu had casually talked about leaving the job, he forgot about it easily. Third question is, who is referred to as the lady of the house? What did Sitaram hear accidentally? Mrs. Srivastava is referred to as the lady of the house. Sitaram had heard by chance that Mrs. Srivastava was in need of a sweeper. At once, he said that he knew a sweeper who was looking for a job. Fourth question is, what did Sitaram tell Mrs. Srivastava about the sweeper boy? Answer is, Sitaram told Mrs. Srivastava that he knew a sweeper boy who was looking for a job. He also told her that the sweeper boy could start from the next month. At present, he was working with the bank, but they were not giving him salary. Fifth question is, how did Mrs. Srivastava react on receiving the information from Sitaram? What did she ask him to do? Answer is, Mrs. Srivastava was very happy to receive the information. She asked Sitaram to tell sweeper boy to meet her next day. The first question of passage third is, who is she referred to in the first line? What did she show to Mrs. Srivastava? Answer is, she referred to in the first line is Mrs. Bhushan, a friend of Mrs. Srivastava. She showed Mrs. Srivastava a sample of clothes she was going to buy. Second question is, what piece of information did she share with her? Answer is, Mrs. Srivastava told him that Seth Govind Ram's bank was in a bad condition. The bank employees were not being paid their regular salaries. Third question is, who is the speaker referred to in the extract? What was his complaint? Answer is, the sweeper boy referred to here is Nathu. His complaint was that he had not given his regular pay, although it was the 28th of the month. Fourth question is, how did Mrs. Bhushan react to the piece of information she received? What did she conclude from this? Answer is, Mrs. Bhushan was shocked to receive the information. She concluded from this that if the bank could not pay the sweeper his salary, it must be in a bad way. None of the other employees would be waiting for their salaries. So fifth question is, what impression do you form of Mrs. Bhushan? Answer is, it appears that Mrs. Bhushan is a talkative woman who cannot digest anything. She shares the information as soon as she receives this information. She tells him that the bank must be in a bad condition and would about to go bankrupt. First question of fourth passage is, where did Mrs. Bhushan find his husband finally? What was he doing? Answer is, Mrs. Bhushan finally found her husband sitting in front of Kamal Kishore's photographic shop. He was talking with Kamal Kishore. Second question is, why had Mrs. Bhushan not been able to find his wife in the market? Answer is, Mrs. Bhushan had not been able to find his wife because she was in the habit of going from one shop to another like a bee in the flower garden. He never remained stationary in one shop. Third question is, what did Mrs. Bhushan tell her husband? When did she get her information? Answer is, Mrs. Bhushan told her husband that People Nagar Bank was about to go bankrupt. She had learned it from Mrs. Srivastava that one of the employees was not paid his salary. From this, she had concluded that the bank was about to go bankrupt. Fourth question is, how did Kamal Kishore react to the information by Mrs. Bhushan and why? On receiving this information, Kamal Kishore called out barber Deep Chandra, who was his friend. He passed on this information to his friend because he had an account in the office. Fifth question is, did Kamal Kishore have an account in the People Nagar Bank? To whom did he immediately pass on this information? Answer is no. Kamal Kishore did not have an account in the bank. Immediately he passed on this information to his barber friend Deep Chandra because he had an account in the bank. Okay, first question of the passage. Fifth is, what is the Kamal Kishore's neighbor referred to here? What is his profession? Answer is, Kamal Kishore's neighbor referred to here is Deep Chandra the barber. Second question is, what was Deep Chandra's reaction on receiving the latest news? Answer is, when Deep Chandra received the latest news that the bank he was cutting the hair of an elderly gentleman, he was so startled that his hand shook. As a result of it, he hit his customer's right ear. Third question is, how did the elderly person react when his ear was nipped? Answer is, when the elderly customer's ear was nipped, he cried with pain and distress. He was in pain because of the cut and distressed because he had heard the news about the bank. Fourth question is, what did the elderly gentleman do in the general merchant shop? Answer is, in the shop, the elderly man dialed Seth Govind Ram. The Seth was not at home. He was in Kashmir because he concluded that Seth had run away. Fifth question is, where was Seth Govind Ram actually at that time? Actually, Seth Govind Ram was in Kashmir. He knew nothing about what had happened in People Nagar. First question of passage 6 is, what shows that life in People Nagar had mostly been smooth? Answer is, there had never been floods, earthquakes or drought in People Nagar. This shows that the life in this village had been smooth. Second question is, how did some boast of their far-sightedness? Answer is, some people boasted of their far-sightedness, saying that they had already taken their money out of the bank. Some other boasted that their wisdom, saying that they never put their money in the bank. Third question is, what according to the people was the reason of the collapse of the bank? Answer is, according to the people, the bank had collapsed due to the excessive injuries by Seth Govind Ram. Fourth question is, what impression do you form of the people of People Nagar? Answer is, we feel that the people of People Nagar are illiterate rumor mongers. In the absence of truth, they resort to different kinds of conjectures. Fifth question is, who according to you were feeling happy at the collapse of the bank? Answer is, people who had taken out their money, and those who had never put their money in the bank were feeling happy. First question of last passage is, some of the crowd chanted, we wanted now. What does it stand for in this context? Answer is, the bird, it stands for the money which people had put in the bank. The panic-stricken customers thought that if they didn't get their money back now, they would never get it. Second question is, who do you think would have thrown the big? Answer is, some angry customers of mischief mongers would have thrown the broke the window pane. Third question is, how did Nathu react on seeing the refuse and the broken glass? Answer is, Nathu felt disgusted when he saw refuse and pieces of glasses and stones on the steps of the bank. He raised his hand in honor as he had to clean it. Fourth question is, why is Nathu feeling so upset? Answer is, he felt so upset because it is his duty to clean the refuse and the steps of the bank. He was sad because it increased his work. Fifth question is, soon after this, who came on the scene and talked to Nathu? What did he say? Answer is, soon after Sitaram came and talked to Nathu. He asked Nathu if he was ready to take up a new job from the first of the month.